Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen or K.Hong Hobbies. Today I am taking you through June in my Hobonichi cousin or my journal. I'm really excited because that means we've officially made it halfway through these videos, and that's kind of crazy to think about because I just can't believe that we're halfway through the year. So it's been a lot of fun. If you haven't seen those videos yet of January through May, go ahead and look through. I have a Hobonichi playlist. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, the first thing to update you on are the highlights of each day of the month. I put them here in the monthlies. Love this color combo. I just wanted like pastels and like pretty colors for the like proper start of the summer. So really liked that. I did a lot of travel this month and got to see a lot of fun people. So it was just a great time. I read 8 books in June, which I think was one of my highest. It's these 7 and then Kennedy Ryan's second book. I can't think of what it was called at the time, but it was really good. I just didn't put it on the back yet. But yeah, here's all these books. So here's the flip through of all 6 months, which is cool. I cried a lot in June. A little bit of everything. Lots of TikTok and media and mostly that. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So woohoo, yay June. Here is my steps tracker. I try to get 8,000 steps a day. In June, I did a decent job. I think because I was traveling so much, I didn't do it a lot. I definitely hit it more in July, but I'll take it. Like, look how they had to be so small. From here on is June. So, cool. I went to 2 places in June. I went to DC for my friend's baby shower, and I went to Atlanta to visit one of my best friends. So, it was a great time. My favorite picture, or my picture of the month for June was me and my friend at her baby shower, just because I felt like that I had to. I was so happy. And now the dailies. So my cover page for June, I am so happy with. I knew I wanted to do something fruit inspired, and so I found something on Pinterest that I liked. And then what I decided to do was offset the outlines, and I was so nervous to do this because I didn't know if I would actually like how it looked, but I do. I really like how it turned out. So I'm happy with this one. And then I found this font on Pinterest as well, copied it. I'm trying to do different types of fonts, so I really like how this one turned out. The first day of June was my friend's bridal shower. So I took the invitation, cut that out. She had scratch offs that was like, do you have the groom? And so I cut that. I don't even remember who I had. It was some random celebrity. So I cut off his head, and then she gave us cookies to say thank you. So I kept that thank you. And then just put down our group picture, and it was really cute. The next day, 2 things. One was I was working, but it was cool what I had to do at work. I was actually like creating like classes almost for, not classes really, but basically I was saying what classes needed to count for each major. So that was cool. And I said, pretty cool that I have this much say for my students, because they were looking to me and my director to be like, Kristen, what are the things that your students need? And I was like, oh my gosh, I have like a lot of power and say. This is crazy. So that was cool. And then, oh, is that my address? Okay, no, good. About to dox myself on here, but this is, let me make sure I cover that. A postcard that I got from Bailey. She was in, where was she here? Madrid. And so that was really cool. She sent me this postcard. So obviously I had to put that in here. Then the next day, quite literally, crap hits the fan. It says the day was great until 5:30. I haven't even put anything in here for it, and I might not, honestly. There's at least pencil here. I Zoom journaled with Kimberly and Marissa, like 2 separate people. I was having a great day. It was very relaxing. Like, I was so excited. And then I went downstairs and our basement was flooded from sewage water. It had come out from underneath our toilet and we had no idea. And it had been doing it for a while and we just didn't realize it. And then it finally flooded. And so we had to call Roto-Rooter, shout out, and they had to help us fix everything. And then we had to gut our entire basement and cut 2 feet of drywall and then get it completely redone. So that was super fun. Like the most stressful 48 hours of my life, probably, not even 48 hours. So I wrote about it on the backside of this, and all I wanted to say was that it was a crappy night and to remember it, but to not have to look at it. And so that's what I did. Man, that gets me like stressed out, like just thinking about it now. The next day, continuation of that, honestly, it was just an update. So I said everything that got done. It's all covered by insurance, allegedly. I think it is. I don't know. But then it says I still got to go to Zumba, so that was exciting. And then I said, I'm still nervous, but TTP in this case means trust the plumbers. Question mark? I don't know. So, yeah. Then the next day, we wanted to just have a chill night of doing nothing. And what we did was, I saw on TikTok that there was like a trend of like, you pick what your partner or your friend, like you see them as with specific things. But what we did was we actually drew them. So it was like how we see each other, and we chose an animal, a place, a flower, a character, a season, a hobby, food, color, and drink. And then we drew them. So what I did was I cut them out. Like this was the side I drew for Chris, and this is the side he drew for me. And I am obsessed with it. I think it turned out so good. And like, honestly, surprisingly, we're both pretty good drawers, artists, I guess you would say. So yeah, that was really fun. And then I said date night and said that some of the things, like Chris's nickname is DJ Applesauce when he DJs. So he played us some music, he fried some rice, and then our friend actually helped us with like construction work and stuff. And then I think I was just doing leaves, and this one, like thinking of like this one, summer, this for sure looks like a plant, but I don't think it's supposed to be. I don't think I partook in anything. I don't know, but it's just flowers to decorate it. The next day was my trip to DC. I stopped and got tacos, and it was so much traffic on the way there, which to DC is always going to be the case. But I said standstill traffic during a 3-hour road trip calls for audiobooks and show tunes. So I finished the 3rd book of The Summer I Turned Pretty with We'll Always Have the Summer. And then I listened to, these are just some of them. These were like my top 5 of the time. Wicked, Waitress, Mamma Mia, Rant, and Mean Girls are always my go-to when I'm on a road trip and belting show tunes. So used my Posca pens for this, and then my combo Food Nozuke for all the rest. Then this was the actual baby shower. So I took the napkin from it, and the theme was a silly goose is coming or something like that. And so I had to use a goose, obviously, and then pictures of me and my friend Faith, and then took some just regular paper to write about it, and then used crayons to color like his name. And then one of her nieces, who's probably like, I don't know, 7, wrote something. Let me see if you can see it. It says, she drew welcome to the baby shower. And it was so cute. She put it on the door as people were coming in, and it was precious. So we're raising them right. Next is just a quick trip back home. I stopped at a Mexican restaurant. I thought it was just this really quick, I guess I was still in a taco mood place, and it was like a full-on Mexican restaurant. So I had a nice meal by myself. It was delicious. Got some steak tacos, rice and beans, all of that. It was great. And then Chris brought home sushi and mochi for dinner for us. And so what I did was, at the Mexican restaurant, there was like this really cool background. And so I just recreated it with my Tombow dual brush, carried it out, and then just took some of my dot stickers and put them around. And then I got some sushi and like food stickers when I went to New York, so obviously had to use those. I was very excited to finally be able to have an excuse to use them. Then every other Monday for the past couple of years, I've had therapy. And so usually on Mondays are when I recap my therapy sessions. I've done it a couple of times, but this one was really good. It was just like how we handle crisis. And so I said, what can I learn from this experience? And so basically we were just talking about, like how we handle crisis. Now we can, because I was like, I don't try to look for something every time crisis hits, like of how I can learn, but I kind of end up doing it anyway. And so in this case, it was like, okay, this situation happened. Yes, it was intense in the moment, but ultimately it was fixable. And so what we can learn from this situation is how we'll handle maybe more intense situations. So like, when we're gonna have a kid, hopefully eventually. And so like how we handle stress and how we handle crisis in that situation, like now we know. So I just wrote that down. Pretty sure this is the back of like a Chipotle bag. Next day, maybe it was Panera. Might have been Panera. Anyway, next day I went to Panera with my friend Kayla. We did a lot of working from home, quote unquote, but actually working from other places this summer, which was really fun. So to this day we went to Panera, and I was so productive. Again, a common theme you'll find is I'm productive outside of the house. And so I said, how can I translate that productivity back home? Still haven't figured it out. And then my husband and his friends played softball and won, so that was exciting. So that was my day. The next day I carpooled home with one of my friends, and she's my Zumba instructor as well. So that was the main thing that happened. It was a lot of fun. We listened to some throwback songs, specifically Zumba, and were able to like take those into Zumba class. So that was cool. So I just drew a wheel. If you paid me $100 to draw a wheel, I would not have been able to make this. I don't know why my brain could not fathom. It was just like basically that it was a wheel, not an actual like driver's wheel. It was like a wheel on the car. So I'm glad that I Googled it because it looks so much better this way. And I used my Posca pins for all of this. Another theme is that I was actually going back to the gym. And so I said, unfortunately, going to the gym does make you feel better and stronger, because I just always feel better after going to the gym, even if it's really early in the morning or really late, whatever it is, I just always appreciate it. So I used some of my Pip stickers to showcase gym things. And then I looked up a SpongeBob like meme to showcase like him working out, and had to use that, and it's perfect. Then this was a Friday, really fun day. Kimberly sent me some stuff, just some like bits and bobs of ephemera, and I obviously had to put them in here immediately. So I did this, and I love how that turned out. And this was actually a postcard, and I cut out part of it. It was like, imagine it being a square, and I just cut it out to use just the like greenery, and I love that. And so then my book club read Silver Linings Playbook, and so we watched the movie all together, and the movie is definitely better than the book, which I don't say often, but in this case it's the truth. And Chipotle was BOGO. If you had literally it's because it was Friday the 13th. If you had a tattoo that was visible, you got a free Chipotle bowl. So I got me and Chris Chipotle. Then Saturday we went to South Philly, and it's probably my favorite place in Philadelphia, either Chinatown or just South Philly in general. There's really good Asian restaurants here, and then there's an Italian market that we'll sometimes go to. What we really wanted to do was get crawfish at the Italian market, because apparently there's a seafood place there that sells really cheap crawfish, nowhere to be found. So we went to a pho place and got like our usual food. It was so good. And then Chris got Bumboe, and then we went across the street to get some bubble tea. and I had to put this in here. He said, I don't need allergy meds, I just need Bombaway because it's really, really spicy, so it'll like clear you out, but it's so good. Yeah. And then we had a hot pot date night instead, and honestly, that was just as delicious. I got really like creative out of the box for me here because I never color the whole back page with just one color of like marker. So I like how it looks actually. I'm not mad at it at all. I definitely do doodles a lot, but this was new for me and I like how it turned out. But I made curry with the spices that my sister and brother-in-law got us the month prior. And then we watched a bunch of Love Island. So I made a phone and it says, I got a text. And it says, Kristen and Chris, spend some time on the couch catching up on Love Island. It's about to get crazy. And it did, and it was just perfect. Then it was a recap about the coconut curry. Not much happened this day, if you can't tell, but something was missing. So Chris and I were kind of talking about ways to make it a little bit better and tastier. Possibly more salt, possibly spicier. I think I posted this on Instagram and someone said sugar, or maybe I Googled it. I probably just Googled it. It was like how to fix curry or acid. That's probably what it was, Google. Or like lemon or vinegar or something. So we'll see, I'll play around with it for sure because it was still tasty. The next day was another work from outside of the home. And so it was this cute little bookstore, the Bookery, and it was a half bookstore, half coffee place. It was a little small, that's the only downside, but the book area was so freaking cute. It was just staring me down and I wanted to buy more books. Someone suggested doing a vlog of going to an independent bookstore, and this is the one I'll probably go to because it was just so cute and the people were so nice. So they had those like cute little cups, and so I tried to draw it like one line, and I like that. And then I just took this and yapping about Love Island. Me and Kayla both love Love Island, so that's basically all we talked about. So I took the rest of this paper and made like dots, just to make it not blank. And then same with the one line coffee beans. Again, it's insane how much I get done outside of the house. And so I took just like a scrap of notebook paper and put like a scrapbook paper underneath it to give it some dimension. And that's cute. The next day, not much happened. But at this point it was getting really, really hot in Philly. So I just said chugging water all day because it's hot. And so what I did was I used my Tombow dual brush pen for the background. And then I used a gel pen that I have to offset and to outline. And I love how that turned out. And then I just used a black dual brush pen to say chugging water all day. Yeah. The next day, I was on my way to Atlanta to visit my friend Emily, and every time I'm in the Philly airport, for some reason, I don't know, because it stares at you, I have to get Dunkin'. Because it's like as soon as you go through the security, Dunkin' is right there. So I got a bacon, egg, and cheese wake-up wrap and coffee. I don't know what, oh, I guess because the coffee was already there. This was just on the actual bag. It was also Juneteenth, so happy Juneteenth. And then we watched a lot of Love Island. We watched the episode with Meg the Stallion, which is the best episode probably of all time. So I had to remember that and just Huda crashing out. And then I went to Publix, so I had a heart that says Publix on it because I love Publix with my whole heart. It's the best grocery store out there. And then I said cooked spaghetti for us, and then had a little story about being on the plane. On the 20th, we went to a brunch place. We went to see a movie, and then all I wanted, she was like, oh, is there any place you want to go? And I was like, I just really want girl dinner. And so she found us, oh my gosh, incredible. She found us this place that was unlimited fries and unlimited Caesar salad, all for $25. And then you also got one gin martini, and yeah, I think that's it. So, I mean, that was incredible. We had so much Caesar salad, and it was like a green goddess dressing type thing for the dressing. It was like a little bit different than Caesar salad. Oh, it was so good. And the fries were perfect. So I looked on Pinterest or Google, and I found now serving girl dinner, printed that out. This is the receipt. And then they gave us a little doily to like put our glass on, and so I took that and put that in there. And then we saw the materialists, and since now you don't get an actual ticket to see movies, I just used my paper that I have and turned it into a movie ticket, and then took a selfie. Very cute. Great day. Oh, I also felt like something was missing, so I drew popcorn and put it on just like regular construction paper, cut it out like it was scrapbook paper, and put it behind here, and I like how that turned out. The next day we went to a farmer's market and brunch, a delicious Bloody Mary. Oh my gosh, I love Bloody Mary so much. But that was fun to go to the farmer's market. I need to do that more often here, but it was really fun to do it there because it just seemed to be really like lively, and she goes there all the time, so we knew exactly where to go. Then we got tacos from Torchy's. Apparently, if you know, you know, but I mean, they were amazing. Went to Jenny's actually twice, I think on both of these nights, because I love Jenny's so much. And then I took our parking ticket and just put it here. And then since nothing was here, I just like printed out like little hearts, and like they're like their little friends, because we are. Pretty sure those were cheese grits and an eggs Benedict, which is always what I'm gonna get if it's on a menu and I know or think that it's gonna be good, and it was. And then we went to a bar that's like has a bunch of games and stuff. So it has like darts, pool, stuff like that, but they were all busy. So we just went to another area of the restaurant and played. They had like board games there. So we played this game called Locked In, and honestly it was so fun. And so I took pictures, well, stole this from there, and then took pictures and glued them onto this and then taped it in. Proof that some days are blank and maybe I'll go back to it. I know exactly what I want to put in here. I have it on a piece of paper, but it was a sermon that we went to, and it was such a good sermon, but it's a lot of writing that I just didn't want to put it on here. But this is also the day I left. So yeah. The next day I drew Stanley on vellum paper because what I've started to do is I bring my Stanley, who I do call Stanley, and I just fill it with ice, no water, no nothing. And then when I get to work, I'll fill it with water so that the ice stays longer. And it has been a game changer because, and you're like, why do you do that? We don't have ice at work. Isn't that crazy? We do have a fridge, but our fridge doesn't have ice. And so there's literally nowhere to get ice for free. Maybe I could go to the coffee shop, but like I always feel awkward asking them for just ice, so I've just started bringing my ice, and it has been working out really well. I said works like a charm because I actually drink the water when there's ice in it. I don't know. So anyway, that's me. This day I have some pros and cons. Pros, it's been a chill summer and it's nice to not be super busy, but to still have appointments. Cons, I've gotten so used to it being slow that I'm nervous I'll have a hard time adjusting to it being busy again when orientation starts. And spoiler alert, orientation didn't make it too busy. I do still get nervous about this upcoming semester though, because it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, it had been a nice summer, not too busy at work, so that was nice. June 25th was the first day I taught Zumba. My instructor was out of town, and so she was talking about how she had to cancel, and I was like, well, instead of canceling, what if I led it? And she was like, yeah, sure. So it was really cool because I got to lead it. It was a smaller group, but totally like that was good. And so I led like at the front of the class. I led the whole class, and it was a great time. And I do it again, and I will do it again if I get asked. I guess at some point I had messed up these days. Yeah, but that's okay. So I messed up these days, but this is the 26th. My old coworker and now friend is pregnant, and so we all went out to eat. It's a bunch of us were old coworkers. So we went to this place by the water. It was really delicious and fun. And so we were all just chatting, and they're all like moms with like older-ish kids, like 13, I don't know, like 10, whatever. And so they were just giving advice, and since my friend is like literally about to pop, it was like really good for her, but then I also wanted to remember this for later. So I wrote that in here. And then as we were leaving, it literally started downpouring and we got soaked, but it's fine. And then I tried to, it was blank here, and I tried to like make these little, I don't know, lines to make it look cooler, but honestly, I think it kind of made it look like we're in jail. And I didn't mean to do that. So now I've learned my lesson, but I made a table with some of this paper to show where we were all sitting, and then took the selfie and printed that out and put it in here. Then on this day, it was a Friday, we had drinks with my friend and her husband. It was the first time we were meeting her husband, so that was really fun. And the first time they were meeting Chris. So we got drinks with them at a place we always used to go to. And so I just took some scrapbook paper, tried out some new font, and just wrote some things about our time together. It was really fun. This day was a belated birthday party for our friend Ryan. He didn't really want anything, so we made him have people over. And so we just all hung out. That was the fun part. And we all got food, or Chris and I got food from a hoagie place that was really tasty. So I had to put that in here, and then use my Posca pins for the happy birthday. And then it was also my great aunt's birthday, and she invited us to her party in Florida, which obviously we didn't go to, but I felt like I had to show this and keep it. I want to make sure this doesn't say anyone's address. It does, so you get the gist. But that's, I mean, just look at these old school pictures. I love it. She's great. So she's 90 years, it says after 35 years of teaching, 90 years of fun and living. Oh, before it's these, and then after. She's 90, good for her. On this day, we hung out with a couple of our friends. One of them is the one that helped us redo our basement. He's like a contractor, so he does this all the time. And so I just hung out with his wife and his sister while they were doing everything. And then we journaled on Zoom with a bunch of people. So if this is you, shout out. It was lots of fun. And I chose these two colors kind of because they matched to this, but honestly because I think I picked like the red for this and then just wanted to see what the purple would look like. And I love this color combo now. So I said in the AM versus in the PM. Lastly, this day, I just had a ton of things to do for July. And so I was trying to get ahead of it because July was about to be crazy. So one, I had this postcard sent to me by Marissa. So I had to put that in there. And then because that matched, I looked on Pinterest for just like a to-do list that was cute and found this one, printed it out, and then wrote what I needed to do. Which actually I've done. I'm doing the June flip through right now, and I am gonna buy, I bought stamps and I'm waiting for them to come in the mail. So just gotta wait for that to send the cards. Yay, so I actually did everything just like a couple months late. And that was June in my Hobonichi. Hope you enjoyed today's flip through. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and wherever you are, have fun.